Today on 100,000 Reviews, I'm taking a second look at my 2000 Nissan Xterra. Let's get started. So I still use this as my daily driver to go to work and wherever else I need to go, but I have 254,000 miles on this now. It's not really a vehicle that you want to own if you're not willing to do your own maintenance. It would get pretty expensive pretty quick. So it used to look like this up until a year ago, and then it looked like this after I hit a deer, but that gave me the kick in the butt that I needed to do this. And I'm really pleased with the way it looks. New bumper, grille, headlights, and fog lights. My father-in-law taught me how to weld, and so I sketched up a drawing and got to work building this bumper. So he and I built this bumper, and I'm really pleased with the way it looks and the way it functions. It has a lot more clearance off-road, and it just looks so good. Also, in the rear, I chopped off that little tip of the tailpipe that hangs down so far, and I also removed the tow bar here, which really was just a step. It protected the spare tire though, so I moved the spare tire into the cabin, tied it down with straps to some strap hooks that were built in. Up top, I added my mag mount for my ham radio. The cable runs around the side there into the cabin, and I ended up removing the stock double DIN stereo and put in a single DIN and my ham radio transceiver here. Also on the top, I had never used this headache rack, so I just decided to ditch the extra weight and wind resistance. On the sides, I also removed the Nerf bars. I found that gives me quite a lot more clearance for off-roading. Moving into the engine bay, I had to replace the lift gates on the tailgate, so I took the old ones and installed them on the hood. The hood is much lighter, and the old supports support the hood just fine. The hood also sounded like a piece of flapping sheet metal whenever I closed it, so I sprayed some expanding foam between the hood frame and the sheet metal. Sounds a lot better. Now I installed a drop-in K&N air filter here. The box is already a fresh air intake once you remove the baffled resonator that lives behind this wall. So now it breathes a lot better. There are also some other resonators here, and two of them actually that lived in those cavities, and one that lived in this cavity and connected here. I removed both of those. I really like the way the intake sounds now. I also needed to replace the fan clutch. The fan clutch began sounding like a tweeting bird, and once replaced, that tweeting disappeared. Now on the power steering pump, the pressure hose blew. It connects down here, and the power steering pump is actually driven off the same belt with the water pump. So once all the fluid had leaked out, I had to continue driving because I happened to be four-wheeling in the middle of nowhere. Thankfully I was able to limp back to town, but not after doing some permanent damage to my power steering pump. My radiator broke right here under the hose clamp one day driving down the highway, so I had to put in a new radiator. And finally, I made my last video at 225,000 miles, and at 226, my timing belt broke. Now this is an interference engine, folks. That means the timing belt breaking can destroy your engine. I am so blessed to have not had to deal with that. My engine was fine. I put a new timing belt in and everything is great. Your mileage may vary. Now in the end, again, I don't recommend to you to buy this vehicle at this mileage. If you get it at far less mileage, it would be a great deal. I'm still happy with the vehicle, but I do my own maintenance. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one.